started selling other clothing items, and then I met my business partner, and I said, I'm about to start selling shirts, because I don't know if y'all remember this is where the art kind of kicks in a little bit for Atlanta. Y'all remember the street sign shirts that said Bankhead? And like, we started, like, we were the ones who started that. Because like when you see the original ones, they're hand painted.
There's the paint.
Yeah, there's the paint.
I was looking for the paint.
So, I have my daughter's mom, and they're painting them shirts all day.
Okay. Family business.
Yeah, family business.
Okay.
And she's like, I don't want to paint these shirts no more.
But
I want a job. I said, you making...
It took off. I mean, it set the grounds for...
I said, you paying 10 to 11 shirts a day. I'm charging $40 to $60 a shirt.
Was anyone else doing this? Not in Atlanta, I'm assuming. Like you were the go-to guy.
Miss Keaton was doing it, but they wasn't doing it like us. You understand what I'm saying?
How did it expand eventually?
Well, the reason why everybody liked the shirts is because, number one, they are proudful about where they're from, of course, and then they glowed in the dark.
Wow.
So when you're in the club, it's like you just shine.
Right, you just shine.
Like you light up.
Okay. When we were talking...
All the girls say, oh my God, your shirt is lighting up.
So when we were talking on the phone...
Then the next guy next to him say, I need a shirt.
When we were talking on the phone, you were talking about how your designs and all of your fashion that you ultimately started to sell, it was all pulled from the streets. It was all influenced by what was happening around you. Can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, you've laid the grounds about who you are, sort of how you see the world at this point, but how did it start to fuel, how did the street start to fuel your business model and the work that you were doing?
Okay, so I was selling clothes to everybody in the streets, pretty much, in the ghetto, the hood, like all the neighbors, basically all the neighborhoods I used to work in, I just went back and sold them clothes for way less than a mall. Like I felt like I was doing community service. Yes. Yeah. I'm not only pulling up on you, I'm saving you money. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So at the time, I had 3 stores and all the flea markets. I had one on Peachtree Street, I had one in Greenbrier, I had one on Godby Road. And I was running up to New York, and I was grabbing up everything that's hot that was not here in Atlanta, And I was putting it on rappers and basically street all-stars. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if y'all ever heard of the Mighty Shirt Kings from New York, but one of those guys used to live in my neighborhood in Embarcadero. And I said, well, the street sign shirt took off, right? But you can't make a clothing brand off of just selling street sign shirts. That was just a hustle, really, just to make money. But I was like, but they're really buying a shirt with my name on it. So I got with Icon Will, which is a part of the Mighty Shirt Kings. The Mighty Shirt Kings, and I guess to the day since, they did the Supreme collab with Chucky on it. For like any hype beasts in here. Like, yeah, so he was a part of their team. Also, when I was in Virginia, they were my neighbors. So that's what made me more inclined to work with Will. So a lot of those designs are like I'll sketch something up and I'll send it to him. He'll bounce his idea off of it. It'll come back all crazy. I'm like, Will, it's like 10 shirts in this one design. And I'll minimize his work, and then we'll bounce color stories back and forth. And kids in the hood was wearing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm in business.
And it spread like wildfires. Like you went.
It spread like wildfire because everybody in the streets knew I was a little different because they knew I jumped bikes. I jumped BMX bikes. They know I jumped dirt bikes. You know what I'm saying? They know I hang out with weird white people on Ponce. You know what I mean? You know, it's like they know all these things, but they just gave me like a hood pass. You know what I'm saying?
Were you changing people's view of black culture and black aesthetics and black men even?
Well, I mean, I started out selling handbags like Baby Boy up in beauty salons. So try doing that every like day, like selling handbags for like 5 years. Like I'm talking like Cleveland Avenue, like Memorial Drive, Candler Road. You know what I'm saying? Like Roosevelt Highway, Old National Highway. You know what I'm saying? So that's really who funded Chilio.
Wow.
It's like women buying like purses and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't just sell to like the guys in the traps and stuff. I sold to everybody.
Everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even in the industry, in the music industry.
Well, the music industry is what popped me off because like when Diddy wore my shirt on stage at the Jay-Z concert, that's when everybody was just like, Chilio, you're untouchable. If you got a problem, call me. You know what I'm saying? Because they know I'm weird, you know what I mean? Like, I'll really be, like, only people I really defend is, like my friends and my family. I just go, like, crazy.
So,
but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So, where are we now? What's happening now? What's the vision forward?
Now, after all that, I'm really just trying to finally take control of my life.
Well, you were God at a moment when the music industry noticed your brand.
Well,
and
really,
all of that.
I wouldn't say a God. I think they were just like.
I'm okay with earthly deities. I don't know.
I hear you, but I see ghosts.
Genius, creative genius. It's okay.
I'm playing. I don't see ghosts.
So you did. I
wish
I
saw ghosts.
He's so humble. That's what it is. So humble. But your model of entrepreneurship, your impact in black communities. All of those neighborhoods are black communities.
Well, actually,
most of them.
I mean, what drove me over the past 7 years is because I failed. I failed in a lot of areas. You know what I'm saying? I had a failed marriage.
Okay.
I had a failed business. You know what I'm saying? I fell out with business partners. I fell out with staff who helped me. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But they'll still answer my phone calls.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
So there was some integrity there.
I just think we were a little bit early for what we were pushing. Because everything I wrote in my business plan, like the youth are doing to this day right now.
Exactly.
And it's popular. Like when we were doing it, like Ian, he's in the crowd. He's a witness. You know what I'm saying? Fahamu's in the crowd.
Yeah.
He's a witness. Ree was here. She's a witness. We were doing some low-key, underground, creative stuff in Atlanta that people just really didn't pay attention to until it got popular. Even to this day, you know what I'm saying? It's like thank God Fulton County gave us $2.5 million to stimulate the creative and art scene, but Raleigh got like 13 mil. It's like we love to boast and brag. Like how come we couldn't boost that? Like we need 30 mil.
Yes.
We need 50 mil, 100 mil.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Because when you look at cities like London, they bringing in like 100 million pounds a month off just creative stuff.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
I was like, I tagged Kelly B in something like, it was just this lady that was just in something that was just rolling around. She was just like flying, you know, arms up, like leaning back, you know what I'm saying?
Just creativity in the streets.
It was like 120 people there. It was like 120 people there.
So
somebody got to eat.
You bring
somebody's gonna make some money.
An important point.
Just because of that simple thing.
The fabric of our society, you know, basically.
When they leave, somebody got to get something to eat somewhere. Yeah. She stimulated that area.
Yeah. And what were we doing?
In a simple way.
As creatives, we were the infrastructure of culture and creativity in Atlanta back then.
Well, in Atlanta, I think the creatives in Atlanta actually protect streets. I think we beautify neighborhoods. You know, we do a whole lot. You know what I mean? It's like we make the city cool. Like Vice magazine wants to check us now. The first time they came out here, they did a bad job. The city spoke. The second time they listened, they came and tried to do a better job. You feel me? It's like they could not be checking for us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even the idea of this brand, Atlanta influences everything. It's so true and timely. What do you
Atlanta, like me and Westwood, we were in Dubai. Westwood's in the crowd. Raise your hand, Westwood. This is Westwood right here. We went to Dubai. Westwood. I'll never go back to Dubai. I was just playing with you. But like, Westwood, tell her what happened. You know, it's like when we walked up to the venue and they were playing our music, how did we walk? How did we walk up there? Like, we was lit. Like, oh yeah, we in here.
It was surreal. For one, it was our music. All right. There we go. It was very surreal, man. Like I said, for one, it was the first music we heard when we got there, you know. So it was a good feeling because it was like, man, I'm still in the city, you know. But it's like the soccer stadium, like the club was like on. It was something I've never seen nothing like it. I don't know. So you can tell from the people that was outside on what was going on and how the whole situation that the door would go. So we go and we got on like regular clothes. We dressed how we dress now. Some people was over there dressed up. Some people was fly. Some people had on like black pyramid. It was amazing seeing how much Atlanta is like really everywhere. Like when we went to the camp, like the kids was doing the freaking dances. Like, how do you know that? But we get to the door. They know we're not. They might think I'm from over there, but and I think he was showing the mohawk too. So off rip, it was like, okay, you know, we don't see nobody paying no money to go in, nobody getting checked or anything. The Americans get there. For one, if you go to Dubai and you're American, you're automatically considered rich because you're American and you're in Dubai. So they instantly hit us with, what was it, 250?
No, it was 500.
Five. It was five. It was five.
Yeah, they wanted five. We need 500.
Yeah. So,
what
we do? We regroup.
I said, what?
Yeah. And it's like, well, let's play the celebrity card now. So the pictures, and it's us, and it's, hey, Floyd Mayweather, Gucci, yeah, it was our friends. Stars working? Nope. Oh, that means y'all really got money. $3,000 to get in here. Yeah, man.
Atlanta influences
I was
everything.
like, Atlanta really does influence everything.
It does.
Except this doorman. Yeah, but we figured out quick how to get in the clubs, though. Yeah, so. But anyway, just use that example to say nobody's collecting those royalty checks over there.
Yeah.
Like all they listen to over there in the nightlife is Atlanta music and Afrobeat and everything. Who's getting that money? How's the artist sustaining off of that money? And their money is not like our money. Like their money is like cats need to stop acting rich. You know what I'm saying? Like their money's insane. Like they'll crash they ride in the six-wheel Benz trucks over there with Ferrari pipes. They crash it, they get 2 more. Like it's nothing.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But anyway, I'm
So
just saying.
sustaining
Influence
this
everything.
Atlanta brand, our cultural capital, our value. How does the artist, how does creative benefit now? What do you see?
I mean,
as
how
a solution to that?
how come we're not sending people over there to get our royalties from the art that we create to stimulate our city, when that's like the #1 sound over there in every club you go to? Sheiks, kids, everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like so much money is getting pumped through there from our creativity. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I get angry. You see what I'm saying? Because like we talking 2.5 mil. I just left a land where it's like they'll blow that on nothing.
So tell me something about the role that you feel you have for young creatives. The
I guess
the next generation.
I don't know, my interest always been in fashion, action, sports, art, you know, stuff. Like like I said, obviously I'm from the hood, you know what I'm saying? But I always had creative interests. Never had anything really to foster my creative interests. I like BMX bikes, you know what I mean? Like the goal was to steal my bike, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, let me ride with you, let's get good, let's jump the thing in the air, you know, so growing up like that, you know, it's just like, I think that's what drives me. Like when I see like, okay, it's 100 kids like where I'm from, and they interested in bikes, oh, I'm on that. Like that's, you know, it's like for us, by us. You know what I'm saying? Like.
And those young entrepreneurs, those young creatives.
I mean, it's just like when I started hanging out is through the music industry. And you know all about the music industry. A lot of people here know about the music industry. And after a while, when you still there and you get older, you have like almost a paternal responsibility for these youth. You see what I'm saying? Because like how many times you saw me on Edgewood Avenue giving up my last money to some kid who hungry, you know what I'm saying? Or department store, ride past 4 homeless kids, $800 outfits, but homeless. Don't got nowhere to go, and I sit there and wait till they find a couch to sleep on for the night. Take them. It's like, who's doing that out here? It's like it's not enough mentors out there doing that. It's just that's how much I care about Atlanta's creative scene, because we have the soul. See what I'm saying? You go to LA, you go to New York, you go to Miami. Well, maybe not Miami. Anywhere in the Midwest, you're not seeing all these black people with these options. To me, I kind of respect that and appreciate that. You see what I'm saying? But, so I go super hard about the youth because I know we have something special. I know our the number one sound in Dubai is music coming from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I have a specific youth target group that just rocks with me. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Like when they say youth, it's like all the youth don't rock with me. A lot of youth hate me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But those that you touch.
Yeah, the ones that I touch, it's like, and a lot are sit here in this audience right here. They grown now. They in their 30s. You feel me?
Well, you know, I thought about, I asked you this weekend about the young brother that was killed, and, you know, the violent culture. And your response was really interesting to me to that situation. I wanted you to share it. You said, I want them to know that this was me. I was from these streets too. And I was wrapped up in violence. And
like I said when I was 15, like my emotive response was to shoot somebody who lived right around the corner from me. Not shoot them around the corner from me, but shoot them in front of everybody in my school. So they know, don't touch my sister.
Yeah, that you were there once, but...
Yeah, but that's not me, you see what I'm saying? And it's just like, I'd rather fight. I said, you know what I'm saying?
But
I'd rather fight him. Yeah. So then I walked down the hall, my sister trying to hit him with a bat.
But instead you came to yourself.
It's just like, imagine that now, you know what I'm saying? Because they got the internet. And all that happened because my best friend dated his cousin. She told him my plan. They jumped me at the donut shop. I run back, get my partner. Hey, your brother still got the gun. Bring the gun. Then I'm going to get up the next day. And think about that shit now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like hyper. It's like, and all that happened because of a phone call.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just think about, you know, what's going on right now. Everybody in comments and Twitter and all this Twitter beef.
And when you said it was me, and for me to hear that, I heard, but I'm still here.
I'm saying I'm not, like,
what keeps
in my neighborhood, I'm not stupid, you feel me? Even though, like, a lot of my friends was doing dumb stuff, you know, I realized immediately this is dumb. Let me do it the stand-up way. You know what I mean? But I could have been in jail right now.
But you sold Timberlands.
Yeah, sold Timberlands. Always look at the positive way, like, I don't have to sell dope. I'm selling Timberlands. I don't gotta sell, you know, I don't gotta
You harnessed
rob
your
banks.
creativity.
Yeah,
and
I'm
your
selling
network.
T-shirts.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? It's just that I'm just thankful for the little bit of respect that I get in this city, because we gotta work 4, 5, 6 times as hard as like a lot of our competitors, you know what I'm saying? And then they be like, what you complaining for? I was like, because my people don't really support me, you feel me? And that's kind of what creatives are going through now. It's like, you know, all this creativity in this city, all these bland homes. Like, let me bland homes you walk into. No art on the wall. You know, like, I got this from Pier 1. Thinking they exotic. You know what I'm saying?
So
It's like you have all this art
yeah, when
around you for the low.
I was at the National Black Arts Festival, I produced a project, a whole series called The Next Generation, and it was exactly this. It was what we do is putting on that next, what is next in Atlanta. And it was about cutting that edge of aesthetic and propelling a movement of creativity in culture in Atlanta from a young and urban, if choose to be, space. And I'm looking at you as a mirror in that same way, and the result of the work that we put forward. And then now we're like seasoned in our in our careers, and but still opening that door for the next. And so I wonder then, what's next? What's ahead?
I don't know what's ahead because we're in a crisis right now.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, look at over the past few days what's going on. Like, that's going to have a concentric force, a psychological concentric force with the youth right now. And it shouldn't have taken, I mean, and just think about all the kids is getting killed. There's not celebrities.
Yes.
Like, my man was just like, why everybody tripping over this? Like, people getting killed in South Central every day.
Every day.
Like, look at where I live at in College Park, you know what I mean? Something like 11 kids under 18 murdered by kids under 18 over the past 3 weeks. Yeah, do y'all know about that? Like, that's a state of emergency.
Yes.
And that's just the kids under 18, you know what I'm saying? There's a bullet hole in my window right now because some kids had a drive-by shootout in my cul-de-sac.
Push against that?
Huh?
How do we push against that in our next?
I don't know, like, I'm a loner. Like, every time y'all see me, I'm by myself or with Big Lurch back there, or my daughter, or, you know. It's like every time y'all see me, I'm with who, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, they want to put me in a role model category, but they throw role models under the bus.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as you do something drunk,
Make you a
you
martyr.
wild out one night, now it's just like they tear everything you built.
Yeah.
And like one tweet, like, bong. Like, you're done.
You know, my elders.
Hey, what is this? You
My
know what I'm
elder
saying?
said, in my community, my elder said, your existence is your resistance.
Now, they're going to know I'm crazy out the gate, so
I'm
if
gonna
they try to
exist.
throw me under the bus,
I'm going to be me.
they been knew I was crazy.
I'm going to be me. Well, I want to go ahead, if it's okay, I don't know.
That was a joke, y'all. That was a joke.
About questions. Does anybody have anything they want to ask Chilio or express inside of the space? Yes.
I studied psychology, undergrad at Norfolk State.
I want to point out that, this is very loud, sir. I want to point out that there are mics on both sides of the stage. If you have a question, you're welcome to come up to them. But also, we are a family.
Well,
if that's best for documentation.
She asked me what did I study in school.
Yeah.
And when I lived in LA, they put me in a gifted program. Supposed I went to some school in Hollywood. They were shipping like my test scores was like the highest in the city. I lived in South Central. I was supposed to have went to like some Professor X type school up in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? But in high school, I was like had like a 2.1 grade average, even in college. Like I said, my SAT scores, I was in remedial reading, Norfolk State, remedial math, Norfolk State. Made it to graduate school. I used to work for Clark Atlanta University. Made it to graduate school. I never got my degree, but I finished all the classes. Like I told you, I took the check and bought Timberlands. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but I did it, you know what I mean? And, you know, that was psychology. That was like shouts to Clark Atlanta, you know what I mean?
Making it possible, yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But my grade point average was like 3.6, you know what I mean? So it's just like, what if somebody would have judged me when I was 15? I ran away, you know what I mean? I wasn't going back to my grandmother's house. You know, my brother was just like, call Dad, he might get you. I called him, he got me. I was like, thank you. I ended up in a whole nother, I landed in the New York metro area when I was like 15. You know what I mean? And Connecticut's pretty bad, you know what I mean? I don't know if y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Connecticut's kind of wild.
Does anybody else have any questions?
And then it might not sound like it, but.
I have a question.
Yeah.
First, I want to say thank you. Pleasure meeting you. I enjoyed hearing your story. I'm Jay Wesley, president and founder of the Atlanta Nightlife Alliance. And you talked about nightlife briefly here in Atlanta, Georgia, and Dubai. And when you ask people outside of Atlanta what's their perception of Atlanta, nightlife will come up as one of their top 5 things, whether it's still remembrance of Freaknik or Club 112, whether the city wants to acknowledge it or not. There's a perception that Atlanta has a robust nightlife and is a fun city. So my question to you is, do you feel within the arts and culture world that there's a place for nightlife to exist, since it helps to shape the culture of Atlanta?
I mean, it already exists here in Atlanta. It already exists here. It's just that people like.
But does it have a place within the world of arts and culture, or do you see nightlife as something of its own? Like, you stay over there at nightlife, you don't belong here with the arts and culture of Fulton County, the arts and culture of the city of Atlanta. Go find your own space. Or can it strategically coexist within the arts and culture world, since nightlife does shape the culture of the city of Atlanta?
I don't know if I'm answering your question right, but to me, we already have all that going on. Like, we just, on our scene, it's very important. Like, for example, Dubai, their number one thing is tourism and real estate. Ours in Atlanta is nightlife. Like, music falls in nightlife. And we already have a robust creative community. It's just hidden. It's just hidden because people always want the next cool thing, and when people put their energy into making something cool, that took a lot of time. It took a lot of bodies, that took a lot of ingenuity, that took a lot of effort, you know what I'm saying? And we have it, it's just hidden now. So in the creative scene, it's right in front of your face, but you just don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's a self-defense mechanism from the broader nightlife communities who use, quirky themes, you know what I mean? And sometimes they dabble in our community because they're not cool. They just have money. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, for example, they're trying to ban dance from Atlanta. Dance. Yeah, you already know.
Okay, you have to expound on.
It's like when you go to the broader nightlife communities, they're not dancing. They're standing around a table. You know what I mean? They need to build dance floors around them tables, like little micro mini dance floors. They're not dancing. What they're doing is warehousing people and creating silos, like micro silos. Mm-hmm. But in our community, in the creative community, we dance. I didn't say on our scene. Yeah. We got dirty dance clubs.
We dance. Mm-hmm.
We dance. You see what I'm saying? But on a broader nightlife, that's a prime example where our community is needed because we don't care about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so you got to look at the psychology between how come these people are having fun and how come these people are having fun in this way. You know what I'm saying? And that's when people stand around, you get more attention around alcohol.
Yes.
You get more violence.
Alcohol.
And you get more just tension. You see what I'm saying? Dance is therapeutic. Dance is a way to relieve energy. Dance helps with depression. You feel better.
And generally dance doesn't bring,
you know what I mean? Not
bring
saying you got to be a dancing ass blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like people like to bring up all the time. But if you're in the nightlife industry, it's like at some point, you know, it's like themes start to get corny. And that affects everything. That affects fashion. That affects, you know, people's status. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what are they really bringing to the table besides some flexy stuff like a car or beauty? You know what I mean? It's like after a while, you got to use your talents in social settings. You know what I mean? Social clubs. This is where all the culture is like kind of being preserved. But now it's just like the top artists are leaving. They're moving to LA, they're moving to New York, they're moving out the country and stuff like that. Like who's sitting there besides Fahamu Piku and Ian Ford and like people still in the culture, Westwood, you know, Big Lurch back there, Michael, who's sitting there grabbing them kids up, teaching them? Nobody. All they want is their cool factor so they can go back to their job, get the check, get their check. And it's just an ugly cycle. But in the creative space who actually need the resources and the attention, we're denied of it. And that's why there's always been stress and storm between the city and the creative space. But at the end of the day, the city's losing because, like I said, in London they making 100 million. They making 100 million pounds a month off of creativity, and creativity is vast.
Do you have a question?
I don't know why it's so minimalized here.
I was going to ask the question about categories. In Atlanta, we talked about the word silos in the back. You know, there's like this category of entertainment and then art and culture. Even to the idea of nightlife being its own category, to me that doesn't make sense. Those three, if you will, just as examples, they are all culture. They're all the culture of a city. And in most cities that exist seamlessly, even the lines between for-profit and nonprofit in those categories that line is blurred because there's so much interaction and cultivation and collaboration between all of those areas. And it seems like here in Atlanta, I think that sometimes we hold so dearly to our labels that we don't benefit as much as we could from crossing those labels off and crossing those lines. I remember even in my production world and history, this question of whether or not urban and hip hop was fine enough to be presented inside of a cultural festival at the time. That was the festival also included jazz. Well, that's all culture. And that continuum is what I think is critical for culture to ultimately sustain a city. And that's why I'm kicking it with you and your culture as completely valuable, even though it may be aesthetically different from mine, or your set of experiences might be different from mine. And I think I just wanted to respond from my own experience, if that was okay, about that we are all a part of this ecosystem of what is culture. And if we break down those barriers, we will probably party together from brunch Sundays that Atlanta loves, all the way, till the following Saturday night in spoken word clubs, hip hop spots, wherever we can get our dance in. I mean, the jazz scene, First Friday Jazz, First Congregational.